What's a quote that has just stuck with you? How do you unclench a tightly clenched fist? Do you apply just as much force? No. You just relax. That's how you let things go. From a dear friend who was suffering from extreme pain. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. When I was a kid I thought this was super deep, lol. The world breaks everyone. And after. Many are strong at the broken places. Ernest Hemingway. I was drinking with a friend of mine years ago and he mentioned how in gardening, some people dig holes in their flower beds and put pint glasses in with a little bit of beer in the bottom. At night the slugs smell the beer, go over the lip, fall and then get trapped and drown in the beer. Then he said something like, sometimes I think we're the slugs. The days are long, but the years are short. In regards to raising kids. So many days you just can't wait till bedtime so you can have some peace. But then sometimes you look at them and wonder how they got so big so fast. I do not fear death. I had been dead for billions and billions of years before I was born. And had not suffered the slightest inconvenience from it. Mark Twain. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Second best time is now. It's really helped me work around being lazy and procrastinating. I can't really explain why though. Your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. At some point in your childhood, you and your friends went outside to play together for the last time and nobody knew it. I think about this quote a lot. A person is smart but people are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals. Such a serious line from a non-serious movie. Outside of a dog, a book is man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read. / Groucho Marx. Whenever I'm about to do something, I think asterisk, would an idiot do that? Asterisk, and if they would, I do not do that thing. Dwight K. Schrute. The Office. I'm not Jewish, but a friend of mine invited me to a Passover Seder. There's a part of the service telling the story of Exodus, where the angels sing in praise of God as the waters of the Red Sea close over the Egyptians as they pursue the Jews. And then God admonishes, then how can you sing while my children are drowning? Even though I'm not religious, it was a good reminder to have empathy even for people who are at odds with you. Smooth seas never made a skilled sailor. Measure twice, cut once. I have a pretty good habit of double-checking things, which helps because of how easily you can lose track without realizing it. One time, after being on a road trip for a few days with a group in a bus, we're getting off on our very last day so I won't see the vehicle again. After being on the sidewalk for a while, I decide I may as well do one last sweep of the bus just in case anyone left something. Well, my passport was under the seat, so that was a good thing I did that. Did they all live happily ever after? They did not. No one ever does. In spite of what the stories may say. They had their good days. As you do. And they had their bad days. And you know about those. They had their victories. As you do. And they had their defeats. And you know about those. Too. There were times when they felt ashamed of themselves, knowing that they had not done their best. And there were times when they knew they had stood where their God had meant them to stand. All I'm trying to say is that they lived as well as they could. Each and every one of them, some lived longer than others. But all lived well. And bravely. And I love them all. And am not ashamed of my love. Stephen King. The Eyes of the Dragon. I found this a while ago on a thread much like this. Hope someone else who needs it finds it. Experience is what you get when you didn't get what you want. Strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony. You can't expect to wield supreme executive power just cause some watery tart threw a sword at you. If I were to go round saying I were emperor because some moistened bint lobbed a scimitar at me, they'd put me away. Why do today what you could put off till tomorrow? Squidward tentacles, but what is today? But yesterday's tomorrow? Eugene Krabs. Mr. Krabs' response is so on point about procrastination. This too shall pass. My mom said that a lot to me growing up. I was a really stressed out, tightly wound kid. Years down the road, I'm just now realizing how right she was. Time keeps going. Life keeps going. No matter what happens. The crummy, stressful, or depressing situation you are in right now will almost certainly change. It's just a matter of time. The only thing you can keep doing is keep going through it as you, and hope for the best. It takes the stress away, so little we actually stress about has the potential to ruin our lives. If you don't believe me, can you remember what you were stressing about 10 years ago? Does it still stress you out? How lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. Winnie the Pooh, A.A. Milne. There's two. Monsters don't have reflections. And alcohol tastes better the worse your life becomes. The thing about happiness is that you only know you had it when it's gone. I mean, you may think to yourself that you're happy, but you don't really believe it. You focus on the petty bull's tea, or the next job, or whatever. It's only looking back by comparison with what comes after that you really understand. That's what happiness felt like. A quote from Kellogg in Fallout 4 took me by surprise, and I reflected for a moment on all I took for granted. It is not our abilities that show who we truly are. It is our choices. Albus Dumbledore. Did you ever try to put a broken piece of glass back together? Even if the pieces fit, you can't make it whole again the way it was. But if you're clever, you can still use the pieces to make other useful things. Maybe even something wonderful, like a mosaic. Well, the world broke just like glass, and everyone's trying to put it back together like it was. But it'll never come together in the same way. Moira Brown, Fallout 3. We accept the love we think we deserve. The perks of being a wallflower. Stephen Kowalski. Feelings can't be ignored, no matter how unjust or ungrateful they seem. And frank, life is a comedy to those who think and a tragedy to those who feel. Fairy tales do not tell children that dragons exist. Children already know that dragons exist. Fairy tales tell children that dragons can be killed. G.K. Chesterton. I believe that when we leave a place, a part of it goes with us and part of us remains. Go anywhere in these halls, when it is quiet, and just listen. After a while you will hear the echoes of all of our conversations. Every thought and word we've exchanged. Long after we are gone, our voices will linger in these walls. /G Car. Babylon 5. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? My mother always said this in my house about the way we talk to others as I grew up. If it doesn't fit these criteria, you probably shouldn't say it. Now I've personally developed this philosophy a bit and found that it's more of a pick two kind of thing. There are plenty of things that must be said that are true and necessary, but not always kind. Criticism and feedback. There are also things that are kind and necessary but not really true. I call this processual lying. Finally, things that are true and kind but aren't always necessary, like compliments, are some of the best things you can say. If you want to build a ship, don't drum up people to collect wood, and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea. Antoine Saint-Exupéry. I hope you live a life you're proud of. If you find that you are not, I hope you have the strength to start all over again. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. But today is a gift. That's why it's called Present Oogway. Stupid people don't learn from mistakes. Smart people learn from their own mistakes. And wise people learn from others' mistakes. Confidence is not about thinking they will like me. Confidence is about walking into a room not caring if they don't. Imagine you have a daughter, and that daughter is dating a man just like you. Would you be okay with that? If not, then change. I've got 2 daughters, and a son, and I try and be the best man I can. Mostly for them.